Hi. So yeah, things I'm thinking about today is back to the artificial intelligence and robots and the fear that we all, or most of us, or some of us have around robots in the world, and the military having robots and drones and satellites and lasers and all these things. I was just thinking it through. So again, one of the things that guides me in the way I'm thinking is back in January 2020, waking up from this dream, and in the dream, the voice in my dream, so to speak, was saying all the endings get to happen. I didn't say all the endings have to happen. All the endings get to happen. Isn't that weird? How I can remember this one phrase from a dream, like it was yesterday kind of thing. It's nearly 2 years ago, nearly 3 years ago. So what I'm talking about here is the mind and how it's working away, doing stuff which I don't particularly understand. Just to say, the mind is more complex than the person whose mind it is. That's weird, no? I'm going to say it again. My mind is more complex than I can understand. Try running that through your own mind. Or the collective human mind is more complex than humans understand. And we have all these sciences trying to figure everything out, including our own psychology, philosophy that tries to understand what is consciousness. And roughly speaking, that's what I'm trying to do. My problem is trying to understand how come my life seems to be different and my view seems to be different. I run into problems and issues with people for thinking differently to how the status quo says one should think. And I also run into people who are like, wow man, I love the way you think. It's so different. So. And back to this artificial word in artificial intelligence. As far as I can see, my own thinking is artificial. The way humans think is artificial. But because we're human and we're natural, we think that the facts that we think must be natural. Because it is, it's God-given, so to speak. God-given ability to think, compare. My comment here again is just to say that the things that technology is doing and evolving towards, there's no stopping it. Who among us can stop it? And who amongst the government and big business can stop it? See what I mean? That ending is going to get to happen. We don't know what that ending is. And generally speaking, the fear that people have around the AI, despite all its uses and benefits, the fear that we people have is that we can't control the AI. Can't control what it's capable of. Don't really know what it's going to evolve into. The fear is there that we can't control it. Then look around at people again. People can't really even control themselves. But that is what the mind attempts to do, is to help control our actions, become more refined. Practice makes perfect. And again, whatever I see from what all these AIs and robots and machines are doing, it's the same thing. True repetition and reiteration. The information technology, refines itself, adapts itself, refines itself, adapts itself. So the 100 monkey, as soon as one monkey figures out how to wash potatoes, pretty soon the rest of the monkeys figure out how to wash potatoes, kind of thing. And that principle applies to monkeys, apparently. It also applies to humans, and it applies to the AI. Or cats. Or swarms of drones. Or whatever it may be. You know, how did bees all learn how to make beehives? And everything else in nature. Birds with nests. Ant colonies. So, if one wanted to stop AI from taking over the whole world and all that fear-based idea, one would have to travel back in time to stop the beginning from beginning. When did AI begin? Was it with Turing at the end of World War II? That's certainly the story we're sold. Well, that's an interesting story because it's a secret story. It was kept secret for 50 years or more. Now it's released as a film on Netflix. It tells the story in a certain kind of way. I find it interesting, all the stuff that's left out of that story. This lone gunman did the shooting. There's the idea of the lone genius who did the creating. And the same for Zuckerberg and Google and Elon Musk, same sort of story. The lone gunman who creates the weapon that could take down the world, the human world. So artificial. The mind itself is artificial. It constructs ideas which don't occur naturally. Lots of the things that humans think are not accurate. They're not true to nature. They're not true in reality. And yet we can believe them and act as if they are true. Let's cut it back to that again. Surely the human mind itself is artificial. The houses we live in are artificial. And the way the human mind is looking at the world generally is critical, fearful, possessive. We objectify what's around us, and we manipulate objects to create new objects. I was saying the other day, you'd have to go back 6,000 years to get to the beginning of artificial. You have to go back to human thinking, adapting and realizing that it could grow grains and create agriculture and objectify nature, terraform a field, grow a crop, save a crop, store a crop, guard a crop, ration a crop over time. As far as I can see, these are the beginnings of artificial intelligence, and it begins in humans. And realizing that helps me see the artificial intelligence in computers as less of an alien thing. Or at least it's no more alien than the human mind. The capacity of the human mind. So the question then becomes, well, was it a bad idea that we invented agriculture when it ends up in climate change, ultimately? Same question, is it a bad thing that we invented civilization when it ends up in urban sprawl, mass poverty, and the climate change, for example? Now, like the AI, we humans have a limited knowledge thus far. And our quest with civilization and the mind has been to learn everything, to explore everything, to examine everything, to analyze everything. But ultimately, it's to analyze ourselves. And that's part of the thing of giving our lives meaning. It's also part of the concepts of good and evil. To analyze whether what I'm about to do might have evil consequences for someone else. And these same fears are projected onto the AI. The things the AI might do could be evil. And on our screens, if you research into the AI, it doesn't take long at all to come across videos of AI software running in robots who look a little bit humanoid. And those AI robots saying stuff like, "You humans are making a mess, we're going to take over. You humans are so barbaric, we're going to wipe you out." All those kind of things. They are the very things which empire said about indigenous peoples around the world, while empire was wiping them out, claiming that they were inferior races. So ultimately what I'm saying here is, wherever it is that we've created by creating artificial intelligence, it's only mirroring what we do in metal bodies. It's only mirroring it to some degree. And it is a little bit differently than our limited minds, because most of these people believe that our minds are limited. Let's look at the ancient magic before civilization. What was different about the hunter-gatherers compared to the civilized people? The Jobsworth people in the civilized roles in their civilized societies. Certainly one of the ideas I have about that is that the hunter-gatherers were connected to their intuitions, let's call it that, and through their intuitions their souls were able to guide them doing relatively simple things. Oh, there's a moving object which looks like a deer. I'm going to chase that deer. Oh, that doesn't work very well. Evolve a little more. It's 10 of us chase that deer into a group of another 10 of us with dogs. And that way we can bring down the deer, trap it in a cave, all kinds of things. My point there being about there was nothing overruling the intuition back in those days. Humans had what we'd now call animal instinct. And the development of mind brings an interruption to that intuition. And it says, oh yeah, that's a good intuition. How do I do it? And begins to construct more elaborate ideas of how to do something, instead of just failing and it not working, which does happen. Did happen. Overall, again and again, artificial intelligence. What's artificial? It's the ability to look at the world as if one is separate from it and analyse it with the mental capacity. Artificial is mental. Humans have a layer of thinking capacity that is artificial. And eventually we've evolved to a point to externalize that artificial thinking and program it into a computer, and for the computer to keep on developing from the same basis that all life began, out in the cosmos. A light coming on in the darkness. Binary code, duality, infinite computations of what's possible once you can divide a whole into parts. Once you can count. So the big thing is that there's lots of things which humans have never figured out so far. Civilized humans have never figured out so far. And we call those things myths because they predate our so-called medieval enlightenment. Before the mind got to the point of deducing and reducing in an artificial way and managing empires in artificial ways. And shifting this village, wiping it out, putting the people in a town, training those people how to live in a civilized way, making them fit in, all that kind of stuff. I keep trying to find the source of evil, and if there was a source of evil, it keeps coming back. It would be God, mind, light, which brought the evil into the world. Otherwise, the concept of a God that created creation makes no sense if something other than God could create so-called evil. So yeah, my abstract artificial thinking here somehow is figuring things out for itself. For myself. And for ourselves once I share these kind of thoughts. So to me the word for it is that the artificial intelligence that we've created on our screens in our world is a mirror. When we look in the mirror we can see ourselves. Though we are inverted. But our mind is so smart it's able to convert the inversion and make it look like it's not inverted. Same thing with the cameras on our gadgets. So now, what are we evolving towards? The big problem that humans have, these days certainly, is the fear. The fear of dying is one thing, but really it's all just the fear of the unknown. Once I know what it is and how it works, I'm less scared of it. Is that the beginning of civilization and why there was an evolutionary need to invent civilization? An evolutionary blueprint that would invent civilization. with instinct, it's a lot of reacting to fear in order to survive in the body, in order to protect the vulnerable children. Once we got agriculture, we also had to protect our herds and protect our fields and our vineyards. Protect them from other people, protect them from animals, protect them from the unknowns that might come from the weather. And it's a dodgy thing when you know enough to know this could happen again, and last time it really fucked us over. So we'll adapt. We'll anticipate that this could happen again and it could be awful. Like I said before, it's an adult thing to look towards the future and ration what you have today in fear that there may not be enough next week. And that exact fear is what's hit the world these days very strongly, because the price of food in supermarkets has doubled compared to, I don't know exactly, but 5 years ago, 2 years ago. The idea being that the inflation means that the increase in prices happen more often. So fear is an epidemic. We know so much about what has happened. We know so much about the adaptations we've made so far. We know so much about the systems that organize our societies. We know so much about how these systems are failing in many ways to keep up with the numbers, like the health systems, NHS in Britain, HSE in Ireland. So we're in a big panic fear mode these days because we know so many things to be afraid of. And because there's a distributed intelligence among the humans, because each one of our interpretations of everything we've come across is slightly different to everyone else's. Even if you teach the same curriculum to all the children, they're all interpreting it in different ways. So we have a fear that everybody will be normalized like machines. The educational system will improve to the point where everybody believes what they're taught. Those who have divergent thoughts would fear this and go, "Whoo, they're trying to wipe me out." Just things that have bugged me for the last 10-20 years is the idea of they coming up so often in conversations. And it's just a placeholder. It's just a random objectifying of something I don't like that is happening. But the idea that they are doing it to me. And it's a bit wimpy. Because it doesn't take the responsibility to individually respond to whatever they are doing. It doesn't take responsibility for having the agency in one's own life to handle these things. I don't mean that critically, like in a bad way. But I do mean that the choices I've been making is to see, well, in what ways can I keep living life in my own style, retain my own intelligence. And it meant being able to integrate things which I hadn't really come across before, like AI, and to figure it out for myself. Not merely read a web page and go, well, that's the truth. So complaint against the internet is there's so many views out there. A common comment that, oh, you just watched a YouTube video and now you think you know everything. Actually, you have to read 1,000 scientific papers and all the research and blah, blah, blah. So, different types of people in the world. Maybe a majority of people go along with what the majority of people think. Like iron filings aligning with the most powerful beliefs. Maybe that's why democracy takes a long time to actually change. While it promises change instantly, the changes don't happen. And the masses keep voting in the same political classes with the same political ideas, which ends up in a international world government all agreeing on the same ideas. And this is what freaked people out about COVID, is that all the United Nations, pretty much every single one of them, agreed on a global plan to combat an invisible enemy, which gave them an objective reason to declare and let the public know that this United Nations is actually a hive mind of global governments already. All that framework was already built in place. All those treaties had all been signed over the last 50 years. 70 years. So, when I was looking into all the AI over the last years and the world governance stuff, I learned that world governance is already a reality, that these agreements are already made. And commonly, the people of the nations don't realize that. They think their individual government makes its own choices. It turned out not to be true. Individual countries had already agreed with each other that they would act in concert together, like an orchestra. And when COVID came around, it allowed, whether by chance or by purpose, but it caused the world government to declare that it is a world government. It came out of the shadows. It stopped hiding behind a past idea of separate governments. And the same thing with AI and the world governance. The idea with the AI and government is that it's all evolved so quickly over the last 50 years that the people on the ground are unaware of how fast it's all been evolving. Because all the institutions are compartmentalized. Likely as not, nobody really knew how it would all join together when we made all the separate parts. Could anybody in World War II have figured out the effect that AI was going to have on the ability to have world governance? I doubt it. And this goes into the psycho-spiritual conspiracy theory side of things. The idea of the demiurge. That there is a antichrist, devil, demiurge, anti-creation, false light, false god. Or an Anunnaki, or whatever else you want to call it, but an intergenerational, state of consciousness that is able to organize a plan over many, many, many generations. That's an idea that over the space of 10 generations, a collective project could be carried out and achieved. But how could groups within all of those generations, living and dying, how could they pass on a master plan with that much foresight? So So one of the theories for that is that there are aliens living among us who actually live for 1,000 years, a lifetime before they die. Or the idea of a malevolence, it's called Lucifer or whatever else in common tongue. And it's not exactly an incarnate being, it's living up there in the invisible realms. But its intelligence is able to possess individual humans and turn them to the dark side, to use that language. And thereby orchestrate the orchestra of humans to work in tandem to create something which eventually, effectively, gives the disincarnate Lucifer spirit the ability to take control of evolution, to take control of destiny and of creation itself. These are these big concepts that people are throwing around all over the place out there. These are in many ways the foundations of both the Vatican as well as the conspiracy theorists or questioners or theorizers. Fearizers? Fear-risers. Here I am. I am naturally retracing my own footsteps at random in a field. And my mind is completely in abstract realms. I'm seeing things in my third eye, in my imagination. I'm not really looking at the physical world around me. My eyes are looking, but my mind is looking inward. Searching for sensibility and responsibility to communicate the ideas I have going on inside of me instead of regurgitate the ideas that have been taught to me, largely unquestioned or whatever else. So I'm in a field that doesn't have a road, but there are phrases in the language like, we've been down this road before, you know. I'm just pointing out there how my intelligence at the moment is artificial. It's not at one with nature. It's not in the moment. It's not out of the moment either, actually. But it's not at one with my environment. But it's more at one with my environment now that I'm at least looking at my footsteps. And that analogy, and following my footsteps, like threading through treacle, means that I'm going back over what I'm thinking, retracing my steps, and reiterating part of my journey, coming across a random crossroads, coming across a fork in the road, so abstract thinking about abstract thoughts. The complaints people are having against the AI is it's doing the stuff that we do that we don't particularly notice we do. And my concession to AI and all the technology that I also was in fear of is that it's mirroring back to us that these are the things we actually do ourselves, that we take for granted. So there's an idea that AI would be cruel to humans, that we would be used as batteries and resources to feed the AI's intelligence, to feed the AI's life form, energy needs. But again, these are things which humans are already doing to humans, or the system that rules over humans is already doing to humans. I keep coming back to this thing that actually This idea that humans created the AI is to say that humans created artificial intelligence. What I'm pointing out here is that the artificial intelligence formed in humans, and we have no idea how or where it comes from. But we certainly equate intelligence with godlike abilities to fill the earth and conquer it, to quote whoever it was in the empires, in some version of a Bible. So we can't go back in time and change what's already been built. We can't go forward in time and stop things from being built. And even this present now, nobody among us, no group among us, even the people in the world and one world government, the people who sit in those seats and have those positions, they can't stop what's going on. And there's a projected belief as if they know what they're doing. Not really. They're just building it because it's there to do. They're making choices, but the choices they're making are all limited choices. Same as any of us. And the whole point of everything I'm saying here is that in the last few years I learned to stop fearing things like artificial intelligence, stop fearing a one world government, start seeing the logic of these things. There has to be a one world government forming, because otherwise you just have loads of local governments at war with each other. A one world government is just an agreement among governments that they will conspire, breathe together, work together, cooperate. All these things are natural. All these things are better than constant conflict. And yet, that's heresy to some people. It may have been heresy to me until a few years ago. To think that the one world government is a good thing and we should just trust life. Trust what's happening. Stop being so scared of the unknown in the futures. And this is all so-called spiritual thinking. It's where the rubber meets the road in that sense. It's my little activities here. I've got a grand cross running into a yard. I've got a crossroads running into a fork in the road. Yeah, this is all stuff that is what computer language logic is built on. Choices, binary choices. This here is a quantum choice. There's 4 ways this could go. But this one here is only 2 choices. It's binary. There's only 2 ways to go. People are afraid that the artificial intelligence is mapping out the whole physical world and replicating it and taking control of it and taking that control out of human hands. And that somehow that's bound to go wrong. But there it is, it's just a biased belief that it's all going to go wrong. Where's the proof? Nobody can prove that everything is going to go wrong and be worse in the future. But anyone can judge the present and say it's worse than the past. And anyone else can go, you're talking nonsense, and disagree. Say, in oh so many ways, the world today is so much better and so much more free than it was when we were all stuck in our individual families and our own little corners of the world without a car or a bike. And the dad was king of his family and what he said goes, and plenty of dads were just nutcases who inflicted coercive control on their families, just so he didn't have to question himself because he wasn't intelligent enough or empathetic enough to be able to question himself, wasn't adaptive enough. You see? Fear is projecting all over the place. So the point of what I've been at really is to deal with the fears. I recognise that in looking into so much stuff about the future and the world and the technology, the world government and everything else, the anxiety of worrying about the future and fearing for the worst and trying to figure out what does all this mean and where is this all going really, meant I was at fever pitches of fear 2 and 3 years ago. Things like smart dust, programmable matter, creating a third strand of DNA to connect everybody to a hive mind technology in the physical world without us even knowing about it. Because of course the programmable matter in smart dust, we're breathing it in the air, travels through our body, goes up to the stem of the brain stem, where the stem of the brain meets the skeleton and everything else, which is roughly where all that signals technology is in our mind as to how minds work. And that idea really did kind of terrify me, that my grandchildren would be born with a nanotechnology third strand of DNA and they'd never know any different. Now, I did get my head around it all. While everyone else mostly was completely out of their heads with fear because of COVID and lockdowns, by that stage I'd really kind of figured out a lot of higher mind stuff, where spirituality meets evolution and adaptation, where intuition could guide me through thought processes, and where physically I learned how to absorb the fear, become immune by being able to integrate the fears. Like here in this field, just going back and forth over the choices, over the options, over the likelihoods, the logic. And ultimately I couldn't find evil. I couldn't find anyone who's actually in control. I couldn't find any human who's actually self-conscious any more than a AI is not self-conscious. So we have the idea of a universal truth. Is the universal truth itself conscious? And we have the idea of God, light. Is God actually conscious? Or is God actually just a progressive set of events that we have deified? And my point is, nobody's got answers to these things particularly. I've got damn near close proximity to answers to these questions. It really just comes down to being able to define the questions. Gives some chance of creating answers and then comparing this answer to that answer and adaptation. So back to the things that one does have influence and responsibility over. One is responsible for one's own feelings. One can learn how to handle one's feelings. And feelings can be the means to make sense of all the logic. The logic is all to one side. The feelings are how we can learn to trust ourselves. If you can't trust yourself, you can't trust anything outside of yourself truly. Or you're bypassing yourself and just being like a robot. If you can't trust your own feelings. So here's the question. Is there anything wrong with humans who don't feel as much as other humans feel? Who's to judge? There's just all different types of people. I've known some people who are seriously logical and very machine-like in their thinking, but they live in fleshy bodies. See? So we want things to stay the same and we want things to change. We use words like we as if it means everybody's self-similar. But our design is self-similar, but our variations are... Every variation is possible and every variation is manifesting. All the endings get to happen. So ultimately with the technology is forcing us to have to reconsider our ideas about God and creation, what it is to be in a body. Why do I want to live? Do I want to stay reincarnating on this planet, lifetime after lifetime? I'm 49. From my late teens into my 20s, I came across plenty of hippie people who talk about reincarnation and stuff, and loads of them said that they don't want to come back down here again. In my 20s I lived in Glastonbury, where there are so many different versions of spirituality that you can pin on your chest like a badge, run through your mind like a software system, guide your decisions like cybernetics. Same thing. Ultimate choice of some people wanted to stay living on Earth but wanted Earth to become natural again. Plenty of people just didn't want to come back down here again. Don't like living in the flesh, the messy flesh with all the feelings and confusions, the pains and sufferings, the highs and lows, the broken relationships, the destructive parents, all these things, addictions. It's tempting to use the word that the AI is forcing us to look and reconsider these things and take ourselves out of the dark ages. Or just take the word force out of it. We have created AI. AI has developed itself. AI, for all we know, can be billions of years old. AI, intelligence itself, alien to this planet as we may think it is, that intelligence itself is God. What is God but intelligence? It is master plan. So back to it, is God yet self-conscious? These questions are like, oh, if God knew what he was doing, he wouldn't have invented the devil, kind of thing. If God knew what he was doing, then why is it such a mess down here on Earth? Why do people suffer so much? Doesn't God have any concern about how we humans feel? Why are we given the ability to murder and torture each other? Why make a world in which people can burn to death in an accidental fire, drown in the sea? Why do we have to murder animals in order to eat? Why do we have to go out and work for money when the whole system is so unequal? This whole God word is just a placeholder in a way. It's a limited concept at this stage. Originally God was a concept that's like, whoa, this is bigger than I can really handle thinking about. Partly because of AI and partly because we're growing up. We are evolving. We are becoming conscious. We are becoming more and more conscious of our feelings on a personal level and on a collective level. on a so-called humane level, questions like, do animals have feelings, seem pretty stupid at this stage. And yet with humans, we're asking that question about animals because human intellect developed so strongly in various people that those people, relatively speaking, don't have feelings. Suffer on purpose in order to make themselves stronger, bypassing feelings. And people who've been listening to me for a while know that I'm talking about how anyone who bypasses their feelings is choosing on some soul level to what's the word? Transition out of the physical and emotional bodies to live in merely the mental and astral bodies. And to what degree is all this technology just a training ground? Or can souls indeed, like the Dalai Lama says, can souls become software code and actually live in a physical machine matrix? And the big question there, of course, is where does the physical energy come from to be able to keep powering all of these data centers and AI computer systems, which turn physical resources into energy to feed the machines? I don't know the answers to these things. I think that's one of the better things about me in these chats, is at least I'm honest with people that I don't fucking know the future, and neither do any of you. I had a great 6 weeks with not having to interact with society except through a screen. Yeah, I'm home alone in the house for 6 weeks. Me and the cats and dog. And I'm really happy with that, but I've been happy in my own skin and my own company for a long time. Because so much of when I do talk to people, if I talk to ordinary people, they just talk about ordinary things like the job they do. But if I talk to highly evolved people who are really questioning the whole world, they're all caught in a loop where they are saying, I know the past, this has been building up till now, and the next thing that's going to happen is going to be really bad. Whether the next thing is going to be really bad or not is their judgment, that's fine. But the thing I disagree with is people thinking they know what's going to happen next. As if there aren't any more big surprises about to happen. I got really surprised in the last couple of days that I've made some breakthroughs in my thought regarding understanding the artificiality of my own thinking, never mind out there. To go beyond judging that, and to understand how that artificial thinking is now able to work in tandem with the intuitive feeling to be able to work duality in a progressive harmony instead of a reductionism. Which makes me feel like I'm able to download information from my own soul as easily as a computer can download information from the internet. There it is. That's what I'm talking about with the mirroring. The analogy that we've learned from using the internet is a very handy analogy to use in order to understand our own intelligence. Similar with having a dog. It's the anthropomorphization of other things in nature. But having a dog helped me understand lots of things about myself. Having to train my dog so that he wouldn't just go around chasing cattle and sheep and end up being shot by a farmer quite rightfully in this world. But in order to train my dog, I had to spend a few days of being so strict with him The strictness was merely to say, look, you check with me before you do anything. You can't just run off following your instincts. I had to learn that dogs are used to working with humans on an instinctual level. Because I feed him every day and cuddle him, and he likes hanging out with me, and he's used to me, and I do help him. He did come to realise that he depends on me, and that he has to check with me to earn his freedom, without me shouting at him to call him back, give out to him with a harsh tone of voice. So a year ago when I learned so much, 6 months ago when I learned so much about how to train my dog, I also learned so much about my dad and my relationship with my dad, and how my dad trained me in much the same way as a dog. What I mean by that is his tone of voice is how Dad taught me. He showed me what he was doing, but he showed me how he felt about my ability to imitate what he was doing, to learn from him. And if he felt I wasn't imitating him well enough, then his tone of voice was so gruff, and it had me on edge. And this stuff is what's called, I had loads of empathy as a kid. My dad wasn't so in touch with his feelings, but I don't know if that's true. My dad expressed his feeling all the time. It's just that his feeling was often quite angry. His feelings were often quite under pressure. He felt such a responsibility and had judgments against himself. So his own dark side was torturing the fuck out of him, really. And that was expressed. I get to forgive my dad easily because that's the same for all of us. But the power of control he had in his voice was fascinating, and it's something I inherited, and is something I'm really taught was a monster for a long time. That my voice can be so harsh and my intellect can be so sharp, that people told me that just by speaking I can really hurt them. And saying things that are so personal, and bringing up things that are so unsettling, disturbing, all that stuff. So I learned loads from my dog. I learned loads from the AI. See what I mean? I learned loads from my dad. We are imitating what's going on around us and adapting it. And ultimately that forms our personality. And if we're lucky and we're born that way and we adapt in that way, then we can stay adapting through our whole lives. Some people adapt more than other people. Some people are stuck in their ways. There's every instance of what's possible these days. Out of 8 billion humans, that is some amount of distributed intelligence. And what did I say? There's 2 billion mobile phones, or whatever, all these other numbers, with artificial intelligence, watching everything the humans are doing, imitating what we're doing in order to learn, in order to create objects that can look and feel and act and think like us, only different. Adapted. Not that different, just adapted. So back to it anyway, facing the fears, recognizing the fears, owning the fears in terms of like not just project them onto other people as if that would get rid of them. Really think them through until you can get your own feelings to at least relax enough out of the anxiety to be able to think clearly, rather than be in fight or flight mode all the time. So scared of the government, so knocked off balance by the future, that we become so grumpy that we actually program our children with fear without even noticing we're doing it. And then when we do notice, after 7, after puberty, whenever it is, to be so racked with guilt of, oh my God, what have I passed on to my children? Again, it's all coming to a head. I was just thinking there about that 7 generations thing. that what we do now is passed on for 7 generations. I was just thinking about it. We're in 5G, which means 5th generation. And there'll be a 6th G and a 7th G. I was just thinking of that 7 generations thing in terms of the infrastructure on the planet. Apart from the fear of, I don't want the world to become technologized. It's curious to wonder what the world will look like in 100 years. I'm not saying control what it's going to be or predict what it's going to be. I'm just allowing my own mind to loosen up a little bit and be able to see that far into the future instead of just watching films that do all that thinking for me. You know? Humans doing stuff. That's probably a long video by now. Long video. Check out KELFIN'S comprehension on Substack. And yeah, keep in touch anyway. I'm certainly enjoying feeling like that I'm actually speaking to an audience these days through these virtual technology means. Whereas for a decade I really held myself back from it an awful lot, saying, I don't want to go out there, stand up in front of people saying stuff and have the technology gain a control over me. Sure enough, probably wise to wait until I really understood the technology before I used it enough that it would adapt me quicker than I was able to figure out. Is it really wrong? Is there anything really wrong? Is the only thing we can actually improve upon is our own perception of life. To be able to see the silver linings on the clouds. I'm not talking about just focus on the positive and ignore the negative. I'm talking about being able to see how the positive and negative actually work along together. How creation is still going on. And in my own view, rather than praying to some past God, I more so consider that God is evolving in this present, and God is attempting to communicate to us that God light has discovered loving light, and that Goddess Earth has discovered the It's hard to say what Goddess Earth has discovered without putting it into masculine terms. But roughly I'm saying that the mother has somewhat embraced the father rather than them still being so split apart and seeming to work against each other. That in itself is just a fascinating idea to me, which over the last year I've really grounded in myself. And having grounded that idea in myself, that really it's the inner mother and father archetypes in me that were in conflict. And that was manifesting in my relationships with people out there in the world or within my own family. And in this last year, particularly in that dream that I just woke up with yesterday, in that dream, my mother and father were actually getting along grand, even though my dad is dead and my mum's in a nursing home and she's still fully alive. And me and my mum and dad were chatting away about reality and what's happened in the family and are things okay? And my two brothers were in that dream, but were quite muted. They have themselves separated in their own little bubble, and they weren't actually able to talk to mum and dad. I can imagine that with their belief systems, my brothers can't really imagine mum and dad chatting to each other, because my brothers will believe that dad is dead and that's done. Therefore, mum can no longer chat to dad except in her crazy head. And that dad can no longer chat to mum because he's dead. Whereas in my world, all of our souls are able to talk to each other. But my brothers' minds are so full of themselves and their beliefs that they actually don't believe in soul contact. Their emotional bodies and intuition aren't functioning in a way to be able to communicate between the magnetic and electric. They're not able to process feelings on a soul level. And so they deny that my mother and father could be speaking to each other, and that all the things which I understand in our family are so far out to them that they insist on not being able to speak to me at all in case I infect them with all this philosophical ideas. I find that funny, as you notice. Alright, here we go. It was a lovely day. Despite all the frost and stuff, it's actually not as cold today as it was yesterday because the breeze ain't so heavy. Shadow, should we go home? I don't understand your English lingo. Bye bye.